Let's discuss another important topic which will be very useful if you want to score high in lELTS: health. In terms of lexis, this topic incorporates a lot of useful terms and phrases, which can also be used when talking about food, diet, and even sports. So I am very excited to begin. Our first word is a checkup, which is doctor's examination to ensure that you are healthy. That's a good way to make sure you have no health problems. Example: it's recommended to have your medical checkup on a regular basis. When people get sick, they often have a sore throat, pain in the throat. Sore throat is a very common reason to receive medical care. There's another good word, epidemic, but with negative meaning, a disease affecting a disproportionately large number of individuals within the population. The current epidemic of obesity is caused largely by an environment that promotes excessive food intake. There are some great expressions here. Epidemic breakout is when an epidemic starts suddenly or strikes. To reach epidemic proportions means that an epidemic has reached a large scale. When you have a disease, you need a doctor to diagnose it, which means to recognize a disease or illness. Your doctor will diagnose a disease based on your medical history and test results. When a disease is diagnosed and treated, but there are no signs of improvement, we can talk about deterioration, the process of something getting worse. Another good health, or maybe it's better to say sickness, word is chronic. Its easy definition is existing frequently or most of the time. Sugar may not be the only contributor to a chronic disease, but it is by far the easiest one to avoid. If you are in one room with a sick person, you can easily get infected. To infect means to cause somebody to become affected by a disease. Example: if you return to work after your sick leave too soon, you may infect your colleagues. After being properly treated, people usually recover, which means that they return to normal condition, or get back from being ill. Example: he had a stroke, but is recovering well. How do doctors recognize certain diseases? Correct, on the basis of symptoms, which are changes in your body or mind showing that you are not healthy. Example: the symptoms of the flu usually develop within 2 days of becoming infected. A widely used expression with the word symptom is the onset of symptoms, which is when your symptoms become noticeable. What should people do not to get sick and prevent a disease? They say that exercise and healthy diet can prevent heart disease. So, preventing something means to act ahead of something. A vaccine is an injection to protect against a particular disease. Researchers are trying to develop a vaccine against swine flu. In most cases, it is enough to have 1 dose of a vaccine to recover. When people suddenly get a high temperature, they usually call an ambulance, which is a vehicle that takes sick people to the hospital, usually in case of emergency. Example: because of high blood pressure, the woman was taken by an ambulance. In the previous sentence, we had the word emergency, which is a sudden, unforeseen crisis, usually involving danger, that requires immediate treatment or resolution. Example: in case of medical emergency, a patient might be asked about his or her blood type. Talking about health problems, it's also very important to mention fatigue, a state of being very tired and exhausted. For example, driver fatigue is a major cause of road accidents. For your reference, we have some additional health-related words and phrases. In my opinion, they don't need to be defined, though you have to recognize and understand them. We'll go through them, and if any of them are unfamiliar to you, take some time to familiarize yourself with them. Some phrases: to feel poorly, to have a filling, to have a tooth out, a heavy cold, to make a speedy recovery, immediate action, to perform surgery on. Medicines: eye drops, syringe, a dose of medicine, pill, shot or injection, painkiller, antibiotics, remedy. Doctors: ophthalmologist, dentist, general practitioner, nurse, surgeon. Illness: asthma, bronchitis, cancer, cold, flu or influenza, cough, diabetes, disease, fatigue, food poisoning, fracture, fever, heart attack, heart stroke, infection, insomnia, cuts and bruises,